In this video, we're going to cover the Windows installation of AAI. Let's start with the basic requirements. We're installing on Windows, and requirements may vary slightly from one version to the next. Ultimately, the procedure itself remains the same across all versions of Windows. There's no need to create a physical database in SQL-Server, since we provide the necessary scripts to generate a SQL-Server login, database, user, and data structures. One of the scripts needs to be modified, and then both scripts are executed directly in SQL Server Studio. AAI requires the Java Development Kit version 8. The full JDK 1.8 is needed, one that contains the Java Web Start. The full JDK is different from the Java runtime environments. Without it, AAI will not work. You can check in the Java installation directory. Look for the Java WS executable in the bin directory. Finally, we need the AAI installation package from Broadcom. Note that the installation is being performed with the administrator accounts. We'll show how to carry out the installation from start to finish with a local SQL Server Express. If you're trying to test or evaluate AAI and need an isolated instance, Express is free to download. You should set the dual authentication method so as to log in with the SA accounts, and you should install Studio as well. You do not need to create a database. The AAI scripts take care of that. Also, we have to enable TCP/IP as SQL Server's network protocol and use fixed ports, the default being 1433. For this, we use Configuration Manager. Download the JDK version 8 from Oracle's website and set Java Home in the system variables. Finally, we have to create two physical directories for storage. They should be named Data and Logs. Let's consider the AAI installation package. Look for specific terminology like engine multi-platform, installer Windows, and so forth. SQL Server is installed, so we execute the AAI install executable as administrator. The wizard starts. This is just the name and location of the installation directory. You can change this to anything you want. You can create start menu folders and shortcuts. The installer gives you the option of creating an AAI Windows service, and you can have it start the product automatically at boot. You name your AAI server and give it a description. This isn't central to the install, and you can keep the defaults. This is the database connection configuration screen. You need to select SQL Server, provide the name of the host, the SQL Server port, and the name you want to give to your database. This name will be appended to the script that creates the database. We recommend keeping default values. The wizard asks for the names and directories of the different physical locations to populate the generation scripts. We recommend keeping the defaults, and you should add the folders you created in Windows. The user is AAI, and the password is set to AAI in uppercase by default, although we're changing the password to lowercase so that we know with certainty what it is. This is used by the server to log into the database, which we'll check when we start the config tool at the ends. This tool logs into the database with this information. This information is used to size the database. You would have to enter an estimate for the number of executions that you think will take place in the scheduler instances and the number of days worth of executions you wish to retain in the AAI database. It's not critical and can be changed later. We recommend that you start working on estimates sooner rather than later. The last setting, the number of days worth of job stream runs, should be set immediately since making adjustments down the line will require inputs from your DBAs. If you would like to retain a year's worth of job stream run data, enter 360. Anything older than that will get purged automatically. AAI collects information from the schedulers it's integrated with. Typically, it sources events like process runs as well as job definitions to build its own data. We can set those cycles, but ultimately there's no immediate need since we'll reconfigure them later. In the event you're performing a production installation, then you'll need to click the Yes Radio button for telemetry. You'll need to enter the information provided to you by your Broadcom enablement team. If you're just testing and running a dummy installation, select No. If you're planning on deploying SNMP or integrating with a mail server, you can enter the usual information for each of these. At install, a number of scripts found in the scripts folder were automatically generated with some information. One of these scripts, createdevices.sql, creates the physical database in SQL-Server, creates a user with a profile, password, and of course the SQL-Server login. The default user has values between @symbols. This information should match what we used in the installer. Note that these scripts are meant to be templates that are provided to the DBA for review. The DBA should make necessary changes to the scripts to comply with the site policies and naming conventions. We're in Studio and we've kept an Explorer window open so we can access the scripts. We can now execute the create devices script, which creates the physical DB, the SQL Server login, and the database user. The script executed, we can check the results. A database called AAI should have been created, along with an AAI login and user associated with the database. We've created the empty database, now we have to populate it with AAI data structures. For this, we log into Studio with the AAI login and execute the create JAWS DB scripts. We do so because the data structures need to belong to AAI, not SA. Normally the script shouldn't fail. Depending on the version of SQL Server, it could happen. Simply check the AAI login and make sure that it's the owner of the AAI database. Your data structures have been deployed. AAI is installed. We can start the server. Use the shortcut from the Start menu. You'll see a command prompt and instructions will run. Let it complete until you see the entries, services are lazy, passive, or on demand. Do not close the prompt or the server will stop. Moving forward, a Windows service is created. Set it to automatic so that AAI restarts automatically at boots. Then, stop using the Start menu shortcut. Use the Start menu, you should have a shortcut. Finally, we can access the Config tool, in which we configure various aspects of AAI and AAI's web interface. We start a web browser and use the URLs we provided in the title slide.